What's the name tag?
Check your text.
Blow
Yeah, I
me,
got
no
you.
hands.
Yeah, you can hop in,
I
Jason.
regret asking that question.
You asked it.
Yeah, I did ask.
What's up, dude? Were you able to watch it live? Or are you rewatching with me right now?
Yeah, I woke up and I didn't see most of the first map, so I actually just watched it with you. I saw some of the highlights, but I woke up at 5 because it's supposed to start at 5, like you said, with the rolling matches. I'm like, shit, I missed the first match.
We literally did the same thing. I was like, shit, I missed the first map. I was like, it's fucked. I was like, I'm just going to sleep a little bit because they're in between maps because I need this. And then I swear I blinked and it said 4 a.m. my time now instead of 3 a.m. And I was like, well, that's...
And FaZe is going to investigate.
Yeah, I went, I popped over Twitch. I was going to hop on your stream. I'm like,
this A-bomb site.
Yeah.
So, no, it's a great win today for a lot of reasons, obviously. I mean, the team early in the year was just thrown into the deep end of the pool. You just look, it's just like Virtus Pro, Eternal Fire, Liquid.
Eternal Fire twice was tough.
Yeah, it was just one of the hottest teams in the world. And, although the map scores look pretty brutal, a lot of those games are actually closer, than
well, Woxa kind of dropped 40 on you guys to beat you on train your first game, so that's a bit tough.
Yeah, we should have won. We should have won versus them on train for sure. So, but I gotta tell you, like, just being honest, I don't think in 20 years I've ever seen a team make such a sharp turn in just a couple months. I've seen teams greatly improve over time, but the team we've got right now versus the team we had in January, it's I'm pretty baffled, man, to be really honest with you. We thought we had put the right pieces in play. We were pretty optimistic, but yeah, we're really pleased with how they're playing right now, and super proud of the guys.
Who decided to pick up Danny?
Really, that was down mostly to TC, JT, and Graham Messio.
Yeah. Okay.
JT, I mean, we'd been looking and doing a tremendous amount of scouting, towards the end of last year because it seemed the writing was kind of on the wall that Elige would be moving on, and it was the right timing for us. I did an AMA where I talked a lot about it earlier, I think a week ago or so. But it was pretty obvious. So we started doing a lot of scouting, having a lot of conversations, and I agree with what you were just saying about 60 on the stream. And what I really like about Nick X and 60 are a couple things. One is just the general attitude they bring. Just the positivity and the work ethic and the willingness to play sacrificially and the hunger to learn the game at a deeper level. And it's such a refreshing attitude to be around. And when they do play, they play fearlessly. I think one of the bigger problems with some regions like North America is when they start playing some of the quote-unquote bigger names, right, from Europe, they fall out of their own game that they would play back home because they're just intimidated. They're just in their own head, and they don't take the peaks they want to take. They don't want, they don't enter the same way they would if they're playing an NA team. And it's really a mental thing. These dudes are just fucking fearless, man. Like, you watch how they go into some of these sites for their first major international LAN, and they're doing a fantastic job. I'm really proud of them, and I'm really proud of the other guys that have worked them in, and they seem to take turns really popping off. And today Halzer had a huge day, and yeah, we're really excited. I mean, I don't have to spell it out. FaZe is a perennial freaking nemesis of ours. They beat us in Australia last year. Was heartbreaking. And then John going over there was, definitely a bitter pill to swallow, but, we were real happy for him. So to actually beat them means the world to the organization and to our fans. And yeah, it's a great day, man. I'm up. The sun isn't even up, and I'm watching this match. I'm just sitting in my office giggling like a little kid. It was
oh my Holzer, that dude, that's another. Oh, the little tea bag. All right.
Yeah, it was his second 1v2.
Yeah. Dude, JT's been on fire too, man. Swear to God. I swear it's like a Liege left JT's training regiment with the way he's been aiming, I swear.
Yeah, man. I'm super proud of the guys, and JT's really taken a lot on his shoulders since last fall with us kind of knowing John would be leaving. the responsibility of scouting and, you know, trying to figure out how are we going to fill this hole. And then Floppy kind of came to us, and I won't get into a lot of his personal stuff, but it was obvious it was probably best for him to take a break
Yeah.
for a while. And so now we have two holes to fill, right? Like
Yeah.
two amazing players. It was a daunting task, and Graham and JT, and of course TC when he was still our coach, they spent a lot of time, but I think JT really carried a lot of that load and that responsibility. And I personally think all the time he was investing into building the roster was kind of why he had a slow start to the year. But he's really picked it up, man. He's been playing lights out. You know, we've won like 14 of our last 15 series, given they've all been tier ones, of course. But sometimes you just got to build momentum. Sometimes
to be
you just
fair,
gotta
though,
build
like
that
the fact that you guys
confidence.
are beating those teams convincingly anyway is also a good sign, right? There's a time where, like,
Yeah.
honestly, if you told me your last roster played some of those teams, I could see you losing to them. Like, it's like you
Especially
can write it
online.
off. You can write it off as a win after you get the win and say, "Oh, it's tier 2." But like, let's be honest, a lot of those teams are scary, man. Especially when you're playing
They are
online.
scary.
Yeah, you can't like sleep on
Especially
them.
online.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. So it's a nice streak, you know, teams will start to scout us more, and we'll have to constantly make adjustments. But I've really liked our aggression. I was chuckling watching when we played Furia. It's like we out Brazilian the Brazilians. Like we were pushing all over the map and just doing kind of random things intentionally to keep them off balance. And that was a pretty strong series by us. So yeah, I'm really proud of the guys. I mean, you know, as I talked about in my AMA, you know, it's very, very difficult being
Damn, bro.
economically
Clean.
competitive in this game if you don't have a gambling partner.
Yeah.
And I was just looking over, I think it was a Woxic thread on Reddit where, yeah, Woxic, it's still on the front page of my Reddit, you know, where he's saying they had to leave Turkey. And it's a regrettable decision. I don't know if his new org necessarily liked him saying it was regrettable. But the reason was, to my understanding, is because they can't get a gambling partner, a betting partner.
It is, yeah.
So
That's
just
the short
set
version.
aside, set aside whatever your feelings are about betting. It doesn't matter if you're just being pragmatic and looking at a financial spreadsheet. When you've got European teams making $1, $2, $3 million a year just from their betting partner, and teams like Eternal Fire and Complexity, because we're American, don't have those partnerships, gone. Like, how the hell are you supposed to be competitive in an ecosystem where there's no salary caps, and you know your direct competitors all get 7 figures more directly from the game of Counter-Strike that you don't get? I mean, it makes it incredibly challenging. I've had different conversations around the ecosystem. I was talking to Thunderpick for a while because they worked with EG and they were willing to work with an American org. But they haven't pulled the trigger with us. So yeah, everyone tweeted Thunderpick, be like, "Hey man, we love you. Sponsor Complexity." But no, it's just like, from my perspective, I want to provide my guys with the best, and I want to provide our fans with the best compelling roster that I possibly can. But it's so difficult, just on speaking strictly economic, not even regional or the amount of travel we have and everything else. It's just very difficult.
Can't do a salary cap in the scene, so
no,
it's kind of a
no one loves
useless
esports more than I
thing
do,
to
man, but
unpack.
it's been in a very tough economic spot. You look around the Counter-Strike scene, what do we got, man? We got betting partners, and we've got you know, like esports World Cup stuff, and that's where the vast majority of revenue
the
is
Saudi
coming
sovereign
from.
wealth fund. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll say it. I'll say it for you. I got you. Don't worry.
yeah.
But
So I mean,
I'm curious. So when you guys were talking with FaZe, was that actually kind of easier for you guys, since obviously you guys had the connection, right? Because it's Game Square owns FaZe Esports, right? I know that shit's weird.
yes.
So
Yes,
that
it's
was like,
very-
so you
it
basically were
was
just talking to everybody you
our old
already
parent
knew.
company.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Is that easy or was that hard? Like,
Both.
like what
you're
does
very
that look
familiar.
like? Do you walk in and
You're
just
very
say, "Hey
familiar.
guys, it's me again"? Like,
Yeah, exactly. It was just like, damn, we just got done doing this huge M&A deal, and now I'm off selling, selling a Liege. So it's easy in that you've done a lot of business together.
They do,
and I worked with the
Rouster.
group
They
for
do.
a couple of years, and it's also kind of hard, right? On an emotional level, it's like, damn, bro, like we're selling a Liege to FaZe, our old parent company, But if you can set aside the emotion and just swallow your pride and be humble. Yeah, the transaction went pretty smoothly, and they were great about it. And Eric over at FaZe is a phenomenal guy. I've known him forever. He's a good friend of mine, and he, we got it done pretty quick order, and I think everyone is as happy as you can be after a deal like that. So
because they still own it too, right? Just from my like.
Yeah,
I thought
GameSquare
so.
owns FaZe Esports, correct?
Esports, yeah.
As I understand it, and don't quote me, but as I understand it, FaZe Banks owns FaZe Media, or with a partner.
Yeah, they're two
GameSquare
different
owns FaZe
things.
Esports, so they own the Counter-Strike roster and the other games that FaZe is in.
Yeah, thought so. Yeah, people like don't understand that FaZe Esports is basically a leased brand. Like,
yeah, it's kind of now two companies. The media side with Banks is kind of its own separate entity, and it's like they share the FaZe name, the FaZe IP, because GameSquare owns the FaZe Esports part. So it's kind of cool how they set it all up. I think they're trying to make a lot of stakeholders happy, and we wish them
probably
the
makes
best.
more sense that way, to be honest. Like trying to not merge all of it under one umbrella probably is weird.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the way they decided to go, and yeah, we wish them the best. But yeah, dude, I'm not gonna try to take the high road and say it wasn't freaking sweet. Beating them in our first head-to-head since Elige left.
Everybody always wants to beat. Elige would feel the same way. Like it's normal.
Yeah, for sure. Like we love John. Like he's just an amazing human being, and we love him. But like when the first time you play your ex-teammate, I think it's always an extra little kind of fire, right? And if you told anyone in January that the first time we kind of play at a major LAN event, we're going to 2-0 them, people would have laughed you out of the room. So
yeah, no, for sure.
That's kind of been our specialty for 22 years is underdog teams that can surprise you from time to time, and we definitely have our tough patches. But I'm super proud of the win today. Hopefully we can get some more wins. But on one level, I think we've already kind of made a statement and definitely got some critical VRS points. I wish the the major qualifier extended through this event, but that's just the way it goes sometimes.
Well, it's good. Yeah, I mean, glass half full version though is you have some great momentum and some great confidence coming into the MRQ though, so that's good.
Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna lie and try to be cool and be like, oh, this is exactly what we planned. I knew they would look like this. I go into our private work Slack channel and I'm just like, who the hell is this team? This is unbelievable. Like some of the plays they've called and just the teamwork that they've been displaying and the personal level, to be honest with you. Like Sixy popped off some games. I'm just like, who is this guy, Nico? Like, what's going on? We're very, very pleasantly surprised, and I didn't expect them to be able to find a form anywhere near this, till maybe late
and
summer.
What a fucking push, bro. What a push.
For them to be in this form in April, like, very grateful to Graham and JT and the guys and the work that they've been putting in. I think it's a very fun time right now.
No, that's good.
I definitely want to do a shout out to our fans, because I know at the end of the year losing John was a huge hit and people were super disappointed, and I think a lot of people kind of
Gumball, he just chose not to resign.
It was a very tough transition for a lot of the fans. Going on Discord and stuff, it's just lit up with activity.
What? No way they would this.
Excited, and even through the tough times, our fans didn't leave. And even I think a lot of North American fans that maybe aren't huge Complexity fans that just cheer kind of for the region have been really kind and really good to us, and we're really grateful for all those guys.
Yeah, that'd be me mostly. I'm always cheering for the region. But no, it's good.
You are. I watched your stream of Liquid the other day, and man,
it's tough.
Yeah, that Mirage. I thought they had Mirage, and I get reports from our scrims, and we've been scrimming TO. I think even before they announced the roster change, and we were beating them pretty well. But you always take scrims with a grain of salt. Teams could be trying brand new things. Like it's good to get high-level scrims, but you take them with a huge grain of salt. But I kept seeing these reports coming in, and I'm like, how are we beating them, like, every time? And I'm like, they're probably trying new things and working on the new system and everything. But the one thing about TL is they'll figure it out. I guess you just look back, like, when we got our new roster, look how look how quote unquote bad we looked, and we were really struggling. Given, like I said, we're playing like Eternal Fire and Virtus Pro is really hot, and we had to play a hot liquid. But everyone's like, "Oh, it's Doomsday, look, it's terrible or whatever." That was just a couple months ago. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
I think if
everybody
you
remembers
give,
your last match. That's it. Like,
yeah. You give TL a couple months, give him some time to figure out kind of the right roles in chemistry, and I'm confident just by the raw skill alone they've got, they're going to be just fine. A lot of our fans thought the world was coming to an end just a couple months ago, and now we're not top 5, but I think we're playing really strong Counter Strike. I mean, we should have beat G2, man. Like we should have beat
Yeah.
G2 2-0.
too many botch rounds. There's a couple botch rounds. I
Yep.
have a more on the Pulse question, I guess. Like, when it came to TC, was that like management, or was that players, or was that TC? Like, how did that kind of happen?
I mean, I talk a little bit about it in my AMA, and we just felt that, first of all, nothing but great things to say about TC. He's traveled the world with our guys for years and spent weeks upon weeks in hotels and really helped them on personal levels and through, mental stuff, and just been a friend. And he's an incredibly talented coach. Sometimes you just need a
Oh
change.
shit. Yeah.
And as we were trying to kind of recalibrate the roster and the division financially, as I was talking about earlier, to just make it more sustainable, and we spent over $2 million on that team last year. And we don't have, like I said, a gambling partner, betting company to pay 7 figures of that. That's a huge drain. And TC, understandably, is a very expensive coach. So we're looking at all these factors, and we really just felt it was time to kind of try something different, to take a different path. And we were paying what he deserves, which is a lot. So we just decided it was time to make that change, and nothing but great things to say about him. I think he's going to do a wonderful job over Passion. We're still interviewing different coaches and looking around. I'm not super eager to get a new coach right before the major and have another voice in the room. I think we're playing pretty well right now, but we're still figuring out what the next steps look like, and wish him absolutely nothing but the
How much
best.
was Elige
He's
making?
super,
Goddamn,
super
guys,
good.
that's pretty standard. Yeah, I have a couple people in chat, so hold down my mic. But 2 million in the grand scheme of things compared to other rosters, not to make it seem like an insignificant amount, guys, but compared to international rosters, like Jason just said, with a lot of gambling partners as well, it's a lot more than that for a year. Like
I mean,
like Nouns, for
I know.
example, you can see their proposal asked for, and this is Nouns, ECL level team, not qualified for the major before, like, was roughly like 600,000 for a whole year. Like, so it makes sense that Complexity, a team that was in tier 1, top 20, top 10 for some of the year, like 2 million is actually not, you're not, like, that's not that crazy to think about. And in terms of other international rosters that they're playing, now it depends on the team. It's not all like this, but you could expect them even have or spending significantly more than that as well. So like it's
yeah, 100%. Like I said, I know all the CEOs
it's 100
over in Europe, and I know for a fact
600K for 2 teams. It comes down to 6K a month per player for Nouns for a year. So what do you got? You got what?
Obviously won't say who. It's not my business.
5 players. Then you have the coach. Then you had the boot camps they wanted. It would still come out to a little bit under.
For these huge buyouts that you see and the salaries that it takes to kind of draw a lot of the bigger, more accomplished players. So we needed to go about it a little more creatively. We had to figure out, and I keep saying this, but we talked about this in my AMA. We had to figure out, how do we stay loyal to North America, run an economically intelligent division, and still be competitive and exciting for our fans. And I'm really grateful the team's playing like this right now. Because, it was not an easy task ahead of us at the end of last year. Let's put it that way. And there's another scene of Sixy and why I love the guy. Like, he brings an energy and a fire and a passion that our team has been lacking. And I had this conversation with him after we signed Nick and Sixy. I told them I wanted them to bring some energy to this team. I loved our old team, great human beings, but they're very.
They're timid.
Like,
They're just
sometimes
timid.
I
They're
couldn't tell
quiet
if they were
players.
winning 6-0 or losing 6-0. There's just no. They're just very calm. You look at Grim, you look at Floppy, you look at Elite. They weren't like yelling and screaming and really kind of
Yeah.
lifting each other up, and that's something he definitely does. Nice to have that energy in the room.
Yeah, I don't know about Nyx as a player, but yeah, I'm sure Danny always is bringing it.
Yeah. Well, I'll hop out and let you enjoy this half, man. This is a great half. So thanks a lot for having me on, bro. It's good to see you, and look forward to getting the Revival Series fired back up again here.
Oh yeah, it's starting.